Good evening, everyone. So I'm a little bit early, 5 minutes, but it does look like it's about to start. They ask me anything on Discord. People are appearing there, so I decided we need to start. We cannot wait. Luckily, I'm here. I hope they don't mind me rebroadcasting it further, as this is event exclusive to Discord. Okay, let me show what is going on for someone who's new in here. Let me switch the camera. So you can see. Wait, audio. No, not that. Wait a second. Oh, audio. You will hear them.
What I love about this is that chat doesn't know what we're talking about yet. So,
that was the announcement.
We're not talking about anything.
That's true.
Questions was gathered during the week in here.
Who really knows?
And
It'll
here's
be
the
a
event.
mystery.
I cannot answer directly questions. They cannot hear me.
4
I'm
minutes
just
left,
in
okay?
audience.
So let's actually. I want to know. We talked about this during our Goal Within AMA. What did you all have for lunch? Not lunch, breakfast. It's breakfast time.
No.
Evan?
Well,
protein powder. I'm still got to track my stats. Got to keep on on my diet. It's very boring. I mix it in with my coffee, and it's like a poor man's mocha.
In announcements,
so,
That's smart. Actually,
question has been gathered here.
And then,
that's
John, did you also go big on the protein
questions
this morning? I believe last time you said that you were eating quail eggs or something.
I moved way past the protein this time, Richard. I went with amino acids straight in. Injected them straight in. Amino acids.
No more middleman.
Is it like
let me know in chat
protein
if you can
craft?
hear them
amino
well.
acids. That's all I want.
Was it like a slow drip? Or you just kind of like just rush it all in as quickly as possible?
Quick as possible.
Okay. So something that I'm definitely learning about the team is that we're really focused on our gains here. If you have multiple people who count the grams of protein in every meal, trying to reach trying to min-max things pretty much.
It doesn't help when you have all these apps that let you do all that stuff too, and you can stay right on track, and you're like, oh, you're 5% off, and you can't help but gamify it. So
it's true.
Gamify everything all of the time.
Kevin, tell the chat about your calves.
Oh, you're gonna do that to me, John? Yes, like when you're trying to work out and show off in the gym, you would think that, oh, I can hit a really impressive bench press. No, not me. My calves are really strong. So it's the most weirdest flex ever. I can have really strong calves, but if I could switch it around, I could, but I can't.
Yeah. You hit those those calf raises on that bear machine, like, and you just like
watch this, calf bros,
Oh man, I do appreciate how kind of wholesome gym culture has become. It used to not be this way, like at all, but now we're seeing more and more people kind of hit gyms, and we're seeing different types of people go to the gym, bring way better energy into this space. It used to be kind of like the meathead, junkhead, kind of giant gallon, like the milk gallon bottle of like water, and people just slamming stuff down.
Now you get the Kevin
of those people.
The Kevins of the world with their coffee can calves intimidating everybody.
All right, we got about like 30 more seconds, so I want to give people time to get in before we get started. So we talked about breakfast, we talked about protein, we talked about the gym culture and calves and all of that stuff.
Yeah, what are we here for again?
Well, we're here for Gone Fishing, but I have, and I'm 8 seconds. What are we looking forward to for our lunch? Nothing?
What are you asking us about lunch again? Oh, you asked
about breakfast. Yeah.
Oh,
John.
Let me see. some chicken
Yeah.
and some Brussels sprouts I made
Wait a
with
second.
a
I think I should
lemon.
be able to add my
vinegar.
camera to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm convinced John is just a scavenger. I think he just scoops up whatever he can find and he eats it. I've seen him in the yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
there by the way.
I'm on a diet, so it's very very uninspired lunch waiting for me.
Very
But at least I get to
fortunate.
eat something. So
Okay. Well, with that all out of the way, give me a few more seconds. Just doing a last bit of setup on my end to make sure.
I thought we were here to talk about fishing. What's going on here?
Oh,
Richard?
we absolutely are. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, there is a chat.
2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 5, 6 seconds. All right, now we are ready to talk about gone fishing. Welcome everybody to our second AMA since this series has started. Welcome to the Gone Fishing AMA. My name is Richard Stanford. I'm your senior community manager for Fallout 76, and I'm joined by 3 amazing people. But let's keep it on the community side. Danielle, can you introduce yourself?
Sure can. Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle, also known as Violet Light in Discord. Hello.
And then we are also joined by 2 amazing dev team members. John, could you do a quick introduction?
Yeah, I'm John Rush. I'm the creative director on Fallout 76.
And last but certainly not least, Kevin, Grill Master.
yeah. I'm Kevin Winicky, and I'm a senior system designer on 76.
Kevin, you were a principal dev here on the fishing update, right?
That's right. Yes.
So we got the perfect person to come in and start answering all of these questions that we have from our community. And let's jump right into this the second that I find my document here. I kind of want to start things off with a bit of light questions here. So one thing that I actually saw from the community last year during Fallout Day, when John, you had that awesome fishing hint tease in our Fallout Day broadcast, is there's been a kind of like a fair amount of discussion and just people mentioning that like fishing is a classic RPG game like feature, right? When we go back, we think about some of our favorite RPG games, the games that allow us to kind of spend time within the worlds. They almost eventually always get to fishing, if not start there. So why did we decide that now was like the time to bring fishing into Fallout 76?
So, looking at our players, we have our builders, we have our adventurers, but we all love to explore, right? We all love to explore Appalachia. So taking something as fun, like fishing, and saying, hey, anywhere you can swim, you can fish. When I look at the map and I see all these bodies of water, that makes me want to explore Appalachia all over again. My mind's already racing. What kind of fish am I going to catch in the wasteland? So the reasoning for adding it in was just to give players another way to engage with what I feel is the main character of Fallout 76, and that is our Appalachia.
Yeah. And Kevin, from your personal perspective too, like Fallout 76 has been around for years now, and then you get wind that we're working on fishing for a future update. Like, what are your first thoughts?
Well, my first thoughts were, I love fishing personally. I did it as a kid all the time, camping with my family, and so that's fun. And I saw a post that said we're officially classified as an MMO now because we have fishing. So we've been embraced. So it's almost an expectation. But what John was saying is totally true. Fishing is really fun because it allows you to re-engage with the world. And even if you're very familiar with the world, it's kind of interesting. Once you have fishing, you're going to go start looking for spots that you may not remember right off the top of your head. Like when you're tromping around in the forest, everybody can picture, oh, I know where some water is in the forest. But it's not so easy to find water in other spots like the Savage Divide, Toxic Valley. Like, sure, you can kind of fish in certain spots, but sometimes there's enemies nearby. So it's actually, there's a whole bunch of really fun hidden surprises waiting for people that go try to find the perfect fishing spot. And, a lot of mayhem can still ensue. Like we were doing some internal tests, and I don't know if we'll get to this later or not, but while trying to test fishing, I was like training a bunch of enemies, and they were all trying to attack me. I'm just trying to fish here, and like they were like all kinds of stuff. They started attacking each other, and I'm like, this is Fallout, right? This is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the kind of chaos and mayhem of Appalachia still
I'm
exists,
just
even
fish,
though
and there's a war going on. So, yeah.
that actually kind of leads me to the next question before I pass it over to Danielle to start us off with our first fishing question from the community. What are each of you looking forward to players experiencing when the Gone Fishing drops in just a few days now?
I'm looking forward to somebody pulling up to a popular fishing spot, casting their line, and looking over and seeing some of their fellow players hauling big fish out of the water.
Oh yeah.
I think that's going to be fun and really kind of help evolve our sense of community in the game. Give them something else to talk about and show off.
Yeah, I like the thought of people searching out new fishing holes, maybe even putting their camp down to make like a camping, or I mean like a fishing camp, like right where their spot is, and that should be pretty fun.
Yeah, I know that I am really excited to see who claims which fishing holes, and then I kind of hope to see people start to get in their own heads about which fishing spot's like the best spot, because a lot of people seem to have gotten really lucky here, and then the old fisherman's kind of like tale of oh, like this is my spot because I've caught this one fish here and I've been able to catch it like more times. So it'll be cool to see how all of this expands once the game gets out and once the update gets out into people's hands. But Danielle, why don't you kick us off with our first question?
Absolutely. Let me just look at the doc here. Okay. This first question is from Shamidi. Sorry if I butcher your names. This is for Kevin. Will you add new fish and other creatures like the axolotl to fishing in future updates? Would love to see fishing be a system that's continually updated throughout 76's lifespan.
Yes, we are going to be adding new fish as the game progresses and everything. We have different stuff that we're adding. Some of the things I can't talk about just yet, but we put a lot of thought and effort into making fish that spawn in certain spots, and then fish that spawn in like certain conditions. So like maybe that are better in weather, or maybe at a certain time of the month with the the axolotls. We wanted to make sure that our first release has those components, so that if we make certain modifications on that later on, everybody kind of already understands. So not saying we do this, but if we wanted to say, here is a Christmas Eve fish, like I think people would kind of get this and pick up on it a little bit more. So we definitely have plans to release new fish, and as the game progresses, and maybe under certain more restrictive conditions that players have to discover.
That's awesome. I personally would like to see a fish with a Santa hat. So just sending that out there.
Putting that energy out there to see if it lands. And
I'm writing this down. These are great.
To add to that, I'm going to say more fish, yes, even as soon as before the end of the year.
Oh.
Okay. Nice. Love that. So the next question is from Crowfather. And yes, as Danielle said, apologies in advance if we butcher any of your names. Some of you have really simple names and we'll still butcher them just because that's just how life works. But some of you also have more interesting names that we'll butcher. So this one, though, Crowfather says that they have a simple question. Will we be able to fish in expeditions someday? Maybe expansions? Perhaps even brand new maps outside of West Virginia if those ever become a reality. So this one I have for both Kevin and John. And Kevin, I believe you did kind of answer this one with, yes, we will be expanding the fishing feature as more updates come out.
Yeah, exactly where that is, and expeditions in particular. Right now, we are not looking into expeditions, but that's never say never. It's a potential, maybe, but right now the focus is on Appalachia, because you get that map, right? I can open up a map and I can see where to go. I can see things, and that's not really apparent in the expeditions. So our first focus was on fleshing out Appalachia with all different types of fish.
I mean, for what it's worth, like fish that you'd pull out of the pit, you're not going to want to eat those anyways. So, we'd rather people when they get into expeditions to stay focused on the mission at hand, not get distracted with fishing. But
Makes
like
sense.
Kevin said, you never know. Maybe.
Yeah. Next one, Danielle.
Okay, let's see. This one is from the Modus Files podcast, and this is for Kevin. Can we get a list of what weather machines will improve our fishing results?
We I guess we could. Well, I don't know how we release a list. We could probably do that through the the Discord. But there is
Yeah.
certain ones that do so. The weather machines that make rain will bring out certain rare fish, and the ones and snow, yes, qualifies as rain. It's precipitation, right?
That's water.
And yes, and there is also a recent one, I believe. It was Seasons, I think, that released it with the nuke weather one that also qualifies, and the Radstorm one that also qualifies. But also keep in mind all of the other ones that they may not specifically do something on their own, but if for whatever reason you're in a Radstorm, like natural weather, and you put your camp down and you put like another weather down that's not Radstorm, it actually overrides it as your camp. So for whatever reason, if you don't want Radstorm effects on your fishing results, put some other camp weather down and it'll override that. So basically we did make the decision that says, your camp weather is the first priority in determining what the fishing results are.
Yeah.
That is good to know because
all those different weathers you can also access in the core game as well without weather machines.
Correct.
Snow.
yeah,
rain,
that's definitely good to
nuke
know. I
weather,
know
even
people.
Radstorm,
I've seen people
four
wondering
machines.
if the weather features stack. So if your camp one does override anything else, that's
Yes.
very helpful.
I'd also like to add that you get the benefit, like if you don't own those, as you can go into other people's camps that have those weathers active and you receive the benefits from them. So it's kind of fun to discover, again, that tie-in with, hey, I'm going to make a fishing camp with my fishing weather, and it actually benefits anyone that comes in and starts fishing there.
Yeah, and I remember early when we were preparing the notes for PTS, Kevin, when we were talking about kind of weather stations and how they interact with fishing. It's all about kind of like the weather station just kind of changing the chance of you catching like a different type of fish that you wouldn't really be able to catch otherwise, right?
Well, yes. It should not enable or disable any fish, the weather,
Okay.
but it enhances certain
Enhances,
classifications of
yes.
fish. So yes. But yeah. So like across the board, you would get like the uncommon regional fish would be better in rain. Glowing fish, for example, are better in the nuke weather or the Radstorm weather, as one would expect, right? So
Yeah.
it does improve those odds.
Yeah, so people should think about it as, oh, I'm putting this down to enhance the chance that I catch a very specific type of fish.
Right.
Awesome. Next question is from Hillgilly. Will we be able to keep fish we catch and display them in a fishbowl?
Not specifically in a fish bowl, but you do get. We have several fish displays. Some of them are a little more gruesome and Fallout-esque than others, but some of them are quite nice. There are several fish displays that you get to display your catches in your camp. Yes.
Yeah,
And additional ways being talked about for after initial release too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll save all the to be determined stuff for you, John. I don't want to steal your thunder.
That's actually a smart tactic, Kevin. Like it's like you could say,
John
but
get in trouble.
Exactly.
We've got some really cool ways to display your fish coming
Yes.
up.
Yeah, can't wait.
Thanks for this feature.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, do you want to take us to the next one?
Yep. This next question is for Kevin from, oh gosh, Gendarm Zero. How will we be able to obtain more of the superb baits? Is it by doing daily quests, challenges, or gold bullion?
Yeah. So the superb bait right now is only available through seasons. So there will be a couple of spots throughout the seasons pages, and then on the final page, the repeatable page, you can have an option there to get more superb bait. Um, we're happy with that balance right now, and we're going to watch it. It might expand to other areas in the future, but for now, it's going to be through the season stuff.
Yeah, and for anybody who might not know, let's talk about the 3 different types of bait right now. So there's the uncommon bait, which is kind of like the bait that you'll be able to get from the vendors
Yes,
at
that's the common bait.
Fisherman's Rest. Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
most common bait. And then there's
Right.
improved bait, which
Correct.
I believe enhances your odds a little of catching kind of the more rare fish.
hmm
And then that's obtainable through dailies, challenges, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, so yeah, the improved bait, like you said, it does improve your chances of catching more rare fish, right? And it also eliminates like junk results. So, like in the common, if you're fishing with common bait, there's a small chance to just get a junk result, which you can scrap and that kind of stuff. And so, improved bait eliminates that, and so it improves your odds of catching a little bit more rare fish. And that can be found. We have a fishing daily. You can get some guaranteed there. It is possible to also find them in the little coolers and old war refrigerators that are found throughout Appalachia. So there's a small chance of getting it there, and then all of the public events also drop the fishing bait, improved fishing bait as well. So you can sell it as well in your player vendor, and so you can get it from other players. So if you start farming this stuff and get a whole bunch, you can put some up and make some caps in your vendor.
Yeah. And then the superb bait, the seasonal bait,
Yes.
that's what the fish are really looking for, pretty much.
Right. And so like we dropped a couple of the poorer results out from, going from common to improved. When we go to improved to superb bait, we drop out some as well. So it really focuses on the high end. So you can guess that, or you can expect that once you try to fish with a superb bait, you're probably going to catch a rare fish. But I should note, and a lot of people, discover this on the PTS, that if you just use superb bait right out of the gate, you haven't even started, you barely just finished your introductory main quest on fishing, you may not be able to catch those fish that you hook because they're going to be really strong, and you're going to need to level up and get better rod upgrades and everything like that. So fair warning, if you want a challenge, use superb bait right off the bat. Good luck.
Yeah,
No, don't do that.
Danielle and I are definitely going to put out some
It's
warnings to
impossible.
people. It's like, hey, make sure. I know we're all excited. Make sure you go back and you do those fishing challenges to get to upgrade and get new mods for your fishing rod. Because if you catch a super rare fish right off the bat, that thing's going to fly off the hook so quickly.
You're not going to stand a chance.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. The next question is from Amazing Bacon Lord. Will there be a logbook or something for us to keep track of fishes caught or biggest fish caught? And this is for you, Kevin.
Not at this time. That is a really good idea, though. We have had discussions on such a feature, but as of right now, it's not on the roadmap. But it is something that you can market as we'd like to do.
Yeah. Awesome. And Danielle, do you want to take us through our last one for fishing?
Yes, sorry, I was answering a question in chat. This one is from Kaiser Omen, for Kevin. Will fish spoil or will they be like the flowers from the Big Bloom?
Fish flowers.
That's
No, they don't. They don't. Yeah. Interesting way to. No, they don't spoil. Right now, they used to spoil, and we were we initially released a PTS that they could spoil, but we found some issues with that, and basically, we don't want them spoiling, even if you like displayed them and stuff like that. So right now, fish do not spoil. They are. They can be eaten, and so it's a little bit of an exclusionary rule break, but fish don't spoil. However, if you do create them into fish bits, like if you break them up into fish bits, those do in fact spoil. So just just a heads up on there. But no, the ones that you catch that are in your inventory and are in your camp and displays, they don't spoil.
I'm now imagining a nightmarish scenario when you walk into somebody's camp and it's just a bunch of rotten fish hanging up in their camp.
Why are you displaying that?
I don't like. Maybe they just forgot. I don't know, or maybe it's like Halloween time and they're like, "Oh, I want to create some terrifying scenario for people to like walk in," because we've seen some amazing camps.
Right. Yeah.
That's for the future.
Yeah.
Speaking of future, and this question is for both Kevin and you too, John. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of like the future of fishing. We've already said that like fishing is a feature that we plan on expanding on as the game progresses, as content comes to the game. People should expect to see fishing kind of go along with it all. But Sunkiss says, "Hello, dev team. Regarding the upcoming updates, could you please share the team's thoughts on including aquatic plants that players can obtain, such as water lilies, pickerel weed, algae, etc.? They think that it would be a fun way to have new food or new tea for players who play as herbivores. And if this idea hasn't yet been considered, it might be worthwhile to include this in conversations about future enhancements to the game." And they say thank you for your ongoing efforts to explore new ideas and incorporate player feedback. So thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to give us the feedback. We love our community and all the great input and feedback we get from you all. Yeah, so those are great ideas. Those are ideas that we have discussed. We're always on the lookout to add more variety, more options for our players into the game. So be on the lookout. Those might be coming.
For sure.
Yeah, we did discuss about the idea that, hey, it just so happens that a lot of all the fish is really carnivore focused. And I really tried to think, I was like, what kind of mental gymnastics does it take to say, like, are fish really meat? And yes, they are. Of course they are. So but we've had discussions about supporting more herbivore focused stuff through fishing as well. So I definitely think that is a possibility for the future.
Awesome. This next question that Daniel's going to cover also kind of ties into the journal question too, but I kind of want to give space to make sure that we call out the people who have asked questions and the questions that have received the most upvotes. So we added it here.
Yeah, so this one is from Hole Shy D. Let's see. So fish weight and length added and fish journal to keep track of new records, fish caught, etc. Could we see this added, please? This would make the fishing seem more unique fish with its length and weight added in text with a fish records journal to keep track of everything. And so the fish don't need to visually change in size. Yeah, but it was a bit of a complicated question, but basically they want to see ways that they can track their fish to get the weight and the length and just have a cool journal that they can keep track of everything.
Yeah, I think that's great, and especially being able to show that off to other fisher folk, so they can, you can kind of have your own fishing tales to tell, I suppose. Yeah, that's fun.
Absolutely. So this next question is about the cannery, and we received two questions. One from Sarah, disliked that, and the other question is from Mulebot. So the first question is from Mulebot. "I would love to learn more about the cannery. What all can you can? And is there any additional cost to this other than a can? And will the food buffs be identical to fresh versions?" So I actually chatted with the team who worked on the cannery, I believe yesterday, to kind of make sure that we had the most up-to-date answers for this. So we will share, Danielle and I will share a list of the food that you can in a cannery right here in the Discord once we're done with this AMA. So be on the lookout for that. They said that there's no additional costs outside of the additional can. So the recipe cost remains the same plus a can. And then the food buff is also identical. So you all know what to expect with the canned versions of the recipes that we'll share in the Discord later today. And then to answer Sarah disliked that question in regards to canning, is there going to be adjustments to the final weight? 6 to 7 pounds seems to be a lot despite the usage of a single can. The team said that there's no adjustment to the final weights because there is the possibility to offset the weight cost with perks and backpack mods, specifically through Hiker would reduce the weight of the can by about 90%. So thank you both to Mulebot and to Sarah Dislike that for those questions. I saw that they were highly upvoted, so we wanted to make sure that we got those answers to you both. John, Kevin, any additions you would like to make to that?
Not really. I mean, we're gonna be looking at the list of foods that supports and adding to that down the road. So, but no, I think most of what you said covers it, Richard.
Yeah. And one thing I did leave out is that, of course, the team is open. It's a recurring theme that you'll hear to a day. The team is open to adding more food recipes to the cannery. So as updates come and as we progress through it. So the list that we'll share is probably won't be the same list that you see a year from now. So then we'll move on to the next one, the fisherman. Questions about the fisherman. People are really enamored by this fisherman creature who appeared during the PTS. Danielle, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So this one is from Lux Nuclear Fishing. With this new update, Appalachia will be seeing a new type of humanoid mutant in the fisherman, who is seemingly a sort of Mirelurk king, with say, I don't know what that word is. With some psionic capabilities. Would it be possible for a set of apparel to be added that allows players to become a similar Mirelurk mutant? It'd be a nice cosmetic option to let us pretend we're also a strange, upright standing Mirelurk, even if it's just a very convincing mask.
That'd be fun. I think that's a fun idea for like a Halloween costume or something. So yeah, that's definitely worth considering. I think that's I'd wear it. Would you wear that, Kevin? Kevin wear it.
Only if it included the psionic powers. I'll have to look into that.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of shenanigans I could get into with that, but you know. That sounds fun.
It does.
It would be really fun for role playing. So I think that would be cool for the community.
Forcing other people to do things is always a great role playing moment.
It's great.
I'm sure people would love also just having some sort of control taken from them as they're just trying to fish, and then suddenly now they're jumping and running in a place.
True enjoyment in a social game always comes at the expense of others. So yeah.
So this next question is from Flackles. I'll start out by saying that I really, really love the visual design of the fisherman and his unique raincoat, waters, get up. Part of me is curious about their plans, again, to allow players to wear this. So you know that people really, really love the design of the fisherman, because we've received multiple questions. So are there any plans to allow players to wear a slightly more intact version of his outfit? We can see the Pip-Boy in the latest season art sporting it. I think he's picturing Vault Boy. And it'll be really, really nice to have such a grounded, cool-looking outfit to wear when we're out casting our lines. So just to reiterate, this is a duplicate question, but we wanted to make sure that we called out Flackles because Flackles also received a lot of upvotes from the community. And as John said, it's a fun idea. So who knows?
Maybe we could even have that outfit give like a fishing bonus.
Yeah,
Kevin.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just teasing people.
Just get me the Jira, John. We'll do it.
Yeah. Getting it in right now. No, that sounds like a great idea. I think that's a fun outfit. I know players would love it, and that's the most important thing. So another great idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we'll move into lore questions and Danielle. I'm actually going to take this one because there's a lot going on here. And I had to reread once again, just to make sure I kind of combined the two. So we're moving into lore. These two questions are from Ravenwolf and Theo. and they kind of revolve around the theme of kind of what players are seeing with the fishermen and kind of like things that they suspect to be groundwork for future content coming out. So, John, I'm gonna rely on you for this one to kind of help us navigate through these troubled waters. So,
Ooh,
Ravenwolf is pretty much, yeah, did you like that?
that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
So, Ravenwolf, I believe, starts with since at least Skyline Valley, and even before then, a lot of things added to 76 have made rather noticeable references to the Capital Wasteland. In the most recent, the story of the captain and his fishy companion seems to imply that they're from the Capital Wasteland, with the fisherman's look even looking similar to the Fallout 3 style Mirela Kings and Lake Lurks. Is the plan to add more creations from Fallout 3 and New Vegas within Fallout and potentially to expand towards the Capital Wasteland moving forward?
Possibly, I think one distinct advantage that Fallout 76 has over the other Fallouts, even the show, is that we take place the furthest back in history, right? So we've got kind of a lot of room to play with creatively, whether that's introducing new things that maybe were lost in time in the other Fallouts, or maybe prefacing things that we've seen in subsequent Fallouts. So, Capital Wasteland being such a popular setting for a lot of our storytelling, and being relatively close to where Fallout 76 takes place on the map. I mean, there's always that possibility. Whether that happens or not, I'm not going to say for sure, but there is always that possibility. But in the meantime, I do like those kind of loose ties to those other pieces of content, like even like looking back, using another example, looking back in Gleaming Depths, right, and seeing the trio, the power armor trio. I mean, the power armor kind of looks like somebody else from another Fallout. Perhaps those were prototypes, perhaps, I don't know. But that's the beauty of the timeline where 76 takes place. We have room to play with those kinds of things. So I love those thoughts, and we'll see. We'll see where the game goes.
Awesome. I have even more thoughts for you. So I believe that this one is from Theo Wolf, and I apologize to both Ravenwolf and Theo if I actually have them flipped. So this next bit is the new update adds ties between the entity known as the Interloper and the Lucky Hole Mine, and according to the note at Fisherman's Rest, the obelisk tied to the eldritch god known as Quatoth from Fallout 3 and reference in Fallout 4 and 76, most recently in Atlantic City.
I applaud your
With the note-
pronunciation. That was fantastic.
Did I nail it?
Yeah, I pretty much. I think so.
Okay, good. Because I went to YouTube to quickly learn up on this lore and learn how to pronounce it. So, most recently in Atlantic City with a note referencing the Dunwich family. With the inclusion of elements of us gathering fish to feed the interloper and the newfound ties between the interloper and Kototh, my question is, are these plot points building up to a potential return to the Capital Wasteland, kind of like the previous question, or encounter with the god or its representatives, or is it more background lore that may or may not be brought back again in a future update in the years ahead?
Good question. I think a lot of what makes that story element so powerful is this isn't an answer for whether there's gonna be or not gonna be
Yes.
stuff down
Yeah.
the road.
Right.
I think something that makes that so powerful is how little is said, right? There's so much mystery surrounding that. I think that's what makes it really intriguing. Kind of like our mole miners, right? It's like, yeah, we kind of have a general impression of what's happening there, but there's not really too much detail, not too much exposition, but it's enough to kind of keep them the idea of them very kind of tantalizing and fun to think about. So, like I said before, we love finding like little parallels that we can touch other elements from other games without breaking lore. So, something like that, maybe some kind of tie-in with some of our cultists, I think could be fun. Whether that's being discussed now or not, I'm not going to say here, but
Who knows?
those are the kinds of things that we love to kind of poke at.
Yeah, I think that that's a great answer because I do know that Fallout lore is important to so many people, and we do a lot of fun small tie-ins. Like I've always, whenever you pull me to the aside, like for the fisherman, you would kind of give me the details about the fisherman and where he came from, or all of his mysteries. You could tell that you all think a lot about how this plays into the wider universe. So that was a great answer, John.
You like that?
I did like
Can you
that.
hear me better now? I moved my mic. It looked like people might have been having trouble hearing me. Is that better
Mm,
for the folks
let's
at
see,
home?
chat.
Chat.
Is
Yeah,
John's mic better?
it's good.
We're
We're
good.
good. Okay.
We love that. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Danielle, I stole 2 questions. Can
So
you
rude.
kick us? Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Let me figure out where we are at.
We're lore questions, and the next one is from Flackles.
Okay, there we go. I got it. Okay, so this is from Flackles. In the latest fishing update, we got to meet the mysterious fisherman, his unwilling assistant Captain Raymond, and his partner slash mobile home Linda Lee. My question is, what exactly is the fisherman? Many people have speculated on what he could be. Is he some kind of sapient Mirelurk king, implying that he's an animal that's somehow achieved human level intelligence, or is he a severely mutated human being that's lost his ability to speak somewhere along the way? Perhaps he's just a wasteland wacko in a very convincing looking fish suit. Inquiring minds would like to know. I
Well,
would too.
I am a member of the inquiring minds that want to know. But like my previous answer, again, that's where all the fun lies, and in getting those questions and thinking about those questions is just having those in your head. Whereas if it was all just exposition, and this is exactly where it comes from, and this was its date of birth, and this is its genetic makeup, it takes all the mystery out of it, right? And so perhaps down the road with more fishing updates, more of their story will unfold, or perhaps not. I mean, that's kind of part of the fun of it. Those are great questions. I love how you're thinking, but I don't want to do the character or the story a disservice by trying to lay out the exact details of who that being is and what they're doing.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
have my
Mike.
own thoughts as well, but I don't know if
Oh,
they're
do you?
right. Oh yeah, I mean I don't know who is the true master. Who's the puppeteer and who's the puppet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Open
It's
question.
Linda Lee.
Maybe
Yeah, I kind of took offense
Lennon
to
Lee needs
the.
to eat.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true. I kind of took slight offense, not a lot of offense to Linda Lee being considered a mobile home. I know, like, technically that's kind of true, but Linda Lee's so much more than that. It just so happens that her shell is the abode. So, moving on to future content, just kind of like in general now. When did we run that poll, Danielle? The Relax Build Rules poll.
About a
Time.
month ago, I
It feels
think.
like it was about
Yeah.
a month ago. Yeah, maybe like end of April. Right here in the Discord, we ran a poll about if people were interested in Relax Build Rules, and the answer was hell yes, probably, like absolutely. Excuse my language. Yes, there was like 90% of you all were in favor of it. So this next question is focused around that from Mr. Napoleon One. In the Discord, there was a poll about bringing relax build rule restrictions to adventure mode, and last time I checked, it was a resounding 98% in favor of it. All of us dwellers would like to get an update on most requested features like search function on the build menu, or reorganized build menu, double-sided walls for interior that you can wallpaper both sides, vertical half walls, wallpaper ceilings, budget cost balancing, etc. The dwellers of Appalachia would like an update on the future of camp building. So I'm looking at you, John.
Do people in our game like building camps? Is that like a thing?
I think so. It might even be a core pillar of the game.
Do the folks here like building camps and workshops and stuff? Is that, yeah? Or well,
Yeah.
good news. Good news for you all. We've got some huge changes, improvements, upgrades coming to camp building across the board very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for news on that.
Yes. Yes, there's been a lot of discussions about camp building recently. Between us and the dev team, Danielle and I have even chatted with some members of the community about some fun things coming up too. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about really, really soon.
So
I love
general,
camp
yes.
building just as much as you all. I might not be as good as you all, but I do love it. And so I want these changes in there too. So I'm really excited for you all to learn about these. Like I said, stay tuned. It should be soon.
Yes. All right, Danielle, do you want to take us to the next question?
Yes. So this one is from Black Ice. This one's also for John. So with the Fisherman update, I feel like some of the game's older features are falling behind as the rest of the world continues to grow. Will we see any new songs for Appalachia Radio, or at least new dialogue to reflect the world's evolving changes or events?
Great questions. So something that we're being very cognizant of as we make new features or develop new features is how these features are related to one another, right? So a more recent example would be, right, legendary crafting coming out, and then 4-star legendaries being introduced, and a way to get those through raids, right? All kind of intertwined. And so as we're coming out with these new features like fishing and things we have planned for down the road, we are keeping eyes on how to expand existing features, improve existing features. You just heard me very loosely talk about camp building as an example of that. So the answer to your question is yes. We are looking for ways to come back to all these old features, older systems, upgrade them, make sure they all have ties to one another, so it's a nice cohesive experience for people coming into the game. Something as specific as new songs for the radio, and we talk about that as well. There's a lot of other discussions involved in that too, such as licensing and whatnot, but it's not an impossibility. That it's certainly something that could happen. So yeah, I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate you taking the time to send those questions our way. It's all stuff we're thinking on.
Absolutely. And then this next question is from FMK. I really enjoyed testing the goal and fishing updates in PTS, but I think we're a bit overdue for new content in some core activities, especially public events and new bosses. Can you share any insights or hints about what shape or form future updates after fishing
That's
might
important.
take in those areas?
No.
Oh,
But
Good question.
like my very vague answer for camp building, there are big plans for public events and events alike, and more than that. So we've got our eyes towards our builders, and we've got our eyes towards our adventurers, and we're making very large steps in improving and expanding on those experiences across the board. So yeah, short answer, no details, but very vague. Absolutely. We are working on that right now.
Yes, absolutely. Then Danielle, do you want to take us into our last question for future
Yeah.
content?
Our last question. So this is somewhat related. Are there any plans to release a new boss related to fishing?
Kevin.
I mean, my personal plans or officially approved plans?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I
Maybe?
think that's an awesome idea, and it's
Mhm.
something we have to look at, officially. But yeah, I mean, I've fished in other games, and they usually spawn some kind of boss. So maybe I'd love to see it. I've certainly got some thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm running by it, John.
Fish up like a scuba diver. And stick
Oh,
a fiver on the end of the hook.
yeah. A little
Yeah.
dangerous scuba diver.
There you go.
All right. So that actually puts us through all of our questions that we pulled, but I do want to take one more look at the channel that we had set up, because I do know that people have gone through the channel and kind of given more upvotes to questions since we closed it on Wednesday. So while I do this, let me think. What's a fun little question I can have you two talk about? Actually, I would love to hear, and I'm sure that the community would love to hear too. And this, I'm pitching them both completely off guard here with this check, because we did not talk about me asking a random question about their experience with building fishing in the early stages before we went to a PTS. But do you two have any fun stories about kind of like what that was like testing the fishing feature before we went to PTS, in the early days of you maybe kind of like scoping things out, or kind of getting in there the first time and trying it out to see how it feels?
Yeah, I got a pretty funny story actually. We were playtesting, and we were playtesting the daily fishing quest, and it randomly selected me to go to Cranberry Bog. So off I go, and I just made a quick character in debug to do this. So it's not like this character was like combat ready or anything like that. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go test inside the Cranberry Bog, and I went to that like quarry area, and another person was already fishing there, actually the lead designer. And I'm like, hey, I'm here, I'm fishing. Where's the fishing? And like a Mirelurk queen like showed up while like a scorch beast was like flying overhead, and like turned it into scorched, and like it's just annihilating us while I'm just trying to fish. And so I'm like, it's funny how all those systems can converge and just create really crazy things. That I'm like, I'm just trying to test my daily here. What's going on? Yeah, it's funny.
And John?
Mm-hmm. Well, my story I don't think is as cool as Kevin's, but I thought it was
Okay.
pretty clever. When we were playtesting fishing, I was trying to make somebody else fishing really mad, and so where their bobber was in the water, I had put my character there and was jumping up and down so they couldn't see their bobber and wouldn't pull on it. That's just a bit, but that's my story.
Okay, so I do have a few, none that I think we need to fully answer, because they're kind of related still to questions that we've already answered, but I see that they've received a lot of upvotes, so I want to call them out, and just to make sure that they know that we saw it and we have answered. So Metalord 76 was asking about more fish recipes and more canned recipes, which we've answered earlier in this. More fishing content absolutely coming through future updates, and then the team is open to adding more canned recipes for the cannery moving forward. The other one that we don't have a concrete answer for just yet, but again, there's a lot of updates about a lot of upvotes on this question about Milepost Zero. The team is still working on kind of getting new information for you all, so please stay tuned for future information about Milepost Zero. Linda Lee loot pool. Are there any plans to add 4 stars to the loot pool for Linda Lee?
Well, we kind of like keeping our 4-star experience
I don't like this
relegated
answer.
to raids for the time being. It's sort of an in-game kind of heroic experience where you can upgrade your gear. Having that come to Linda Lee, likely not. I mean, nothing's impossible though. I think there are ways to. I think there are other things we could give Linda Lee that could be just as alluring as 4 stars, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Death Killer, any hints on other balance changes coming to the game? I said this on Reddit, and I don't think that I said it on the Discord, but the patch notes for Gone Fishing will include a update for you all about kind of like where we are in the combat rebalancing journey that we kicked off last year, almost exactly a year ago in Skyline Valley. So stay tuned for the patch notes for Gone Fishing for a quick update there. Let's see, any last things? Kind of talked about displaying fish. We talked about what's coming to the game after fishing, and then kind of like what the team is looking at. Talked about Capital Wasteland, talked about weather machines, we talked about the lore. I think we covered a lot, if not all, of the most upvoted questions here in our fishing dev questions poll.
I've got a
So,
question.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shoot.
For the both of you, what is your favorite fish?
I like the blood whisker. I think he's a cool looking fish. He's a
That's a good one.
catfish, you know, and I also like the ridge trout. What's a trout doing in Appalachia? No, it's part of the mystery. You know.
I like the blood whisker too. I think I like the axolotls the best though.
Yeah,
I go
they're
with
cute.
axolotls. Count
Axolotls
those
are my
fish?
favorite.
What's that?
Are those technically fish?
In our game, it is.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. I like it.
We make the
I
rules.
don't know, the biologists in the chat are like, "Oh, this is my moment."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ari says amphibian, so close enough.
Yes. I have actually caught salamanders on my fishing pole before, so
Really?
whatever bites your hook.
Yeah, whatever bites your hook, it's a fish.
I caught a turtle once. It was so pissed.
Yeah, I imagine.
Poor turtle. Yeah. Anyways.
I used to live in Florida, and when we would go fishing, just like on the lake in our backyard, I was always concerned about catching like an alligator or something, because the alligators would show up in our yards and just kind of sunbathe all the time. Luckily, never caught one, and luckily never had any issues with alligators kind of creeping into our yard while our dog was outside. But there's a lot of things to catch in the waters of Appalachia, so a lot of you will figure out the entire list pretty soon. Awesome. Well, we will be ending a little bit early, so I want to give a huge thank you to John, Kevin, and Danielle, of course, my partner here on the community side, for joining us, and a huge thank you to everybody here in chat who showed up. We love doing these things for you. We love showing up and talking to you in this Discord server. So like I said last time, these AMAs are kind of just like a wave that we wanted to kind of give back to you all and hang out with you all. So as most things go, let us know how you feel about this format. You could drop it here in the Gone Fishing AMA chat, and Danielle and I will go through it all and make adjustments where we need to. So John, Kevin, any last words before we break?
Thank you to everybody for giving us some of your time today. I mean, we love talking about this game. We love 76. It wouldn't be where it was without the support of our wonderful community. So thank you very much for everything that you do.
Kevin?
Likewise, I couldn't say it better myself. Thanks for all the feedback, especially on the PTS when we're developing features. It helps us meet your expectations even better. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, gang.
They are leaving, not me. I'm not leaving yet. I'll stay with you here. So. What do you think? Unfortunately, no news about future updates. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping a lot for the future updates. That did not happen. That did not happen, unfortunately. Okay, let me. I didn't read everything in the chat. I was trying to look what you are guys saying, but as well, I was trying to focus on this Ask Me Anything from Bethesda, so I'm disappointed that they didn't reveal anything about the future. That's what I was hoping. So the big things I wanted were not revealed. As well, the Linda Lee will not get confirmed that it will not get 4-star legendaries. And I was kind of hoping maybe they will do it. That was heavily requested feature, but it's not. It's not happening. It's not happening. What we did learn is about the weather machine, and they did promise to update us about the cannery machine, what will be possible in there. But I don't know how they plan to reveal it. when and where are they going to post it? He didn't specify that. He said, we'll post it for you, but where? Like, where? Didn't specify. So hopefully we'll figure out how they do plan to share it with us about what can be put there into the can. The good news is they will be expanding on it. So if something will be missing, they will add it. As they confirm that. It will be added more. They didn't reveal much new, no, but we did learn which weather machines will work. So we did learn that snow machine and rain machine, I mean thunderstorm machine, those two will work as a rainy weather. So snow machine is a rainy weather. Snow is a rain now. Yes, that's correct. And nuclear weather machine plus radstorm machine will work too as a nuclear weather. So there are 4 machines, weather machines, confirmed to increase your odds for rare fish in fishing. Probably different set of odds for the nuke weather machine and for rain type weather machine. So far, they said nothing about future updates. My bet is why they said absolutely nothing. As on previous Ask Me Anything, they did say some things about the future. Why they didn't this time around? My bet is they were told that they cannot reveal anything before the next big Xbox event that is always happening in June. So we need to be on the lookout for the Xbox event in June. And most likely that's why they were not allowed to reveal anything about the future. There is no calendar for further than 2 months. So no calendar for next season, nothing like that. They revealed nothing. They holding this info for Xbox reveal, for sure, yes. They were told to not say anything. There was no hesitation there. When there was a question about the future, the answer was no. No. So that was for sure they not allowed to say. I don't know if Skyline Valley weather machine counts as anything. I don't know. They didn't mention this one. So we don't know that. If you really want to get some concrete info, go to data miners. Good one, Rascal. Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, I'm 90% sure that they will reveal the future on Xbox TV event in June. I will never say 100% as I don't have insider info. So I cannot say 100%. I would say 90. But I did guess a release date for the fishing update. So that was accurate. Yeah, June 8th for the Xbox event. Yeah, I think that's the date for Xbox event. So it's soon after fishing update will go live on June 3rd. So it's not far away from that. And tomorrow I will not be doing regular TurtleCast, so this needs to work as TurtleCast and Ask Me Anything from Bethesda. Tomorrow I'm hiking with my little one, so I'll be busy all day hiking. But today I can check Discord and answer your questions, so I can answer questions too. So let's check that out. Our Discord, question 1 or statement. Hey Turtle, sorry in advance for the long post, but I believe you will find it interesting. I have a mod for PC that shows weapon durability and weapon condition values and figured out why the Polish 4-star mod doesn't seem to apply correctly to newly crafted weapons. It's because of the Science Master perk, which at rank 2 gives a flat 25% condition bonus to crafted energy weapons. With the perk and intelligence at 20, energy weapons will craft at 225%, making polish not registering, as it seems to not take into account the Science Master perk. Taking off the perk and having intelligence greater than 20 will craft the weapon at 200% condition with the polish mod functioning correctly. I assume next season will fix it, as they are changing the science perks and the bonus to condition will get removed. Also, I tested durability with the Tesla cannon, and the difference in having durability on the third star is staggering. I tested on EN06 as well as shooting at my feet, and both results were the same. With the same legendary mods and weapon mods you currently have on your Tesla cannon, it takes 4 shots to decrease condition by 1% without durability, and 150 shots with durability to decrease condition by 1%. With Gunsmith rank 5, it goes to 5 shots without and 195 shots with. Doesn't truly lock in degradation, but takes a very, very long time to decrease the condition. Hopefully it stays this way, as it makes the polish durability combo a powerful effect on weapons. Apologies again for the long pause, but I figured I would share what I found. Take care and have a good one. It's very possible you are absolutely right. That would make sense, as it will not show if the weapon is over repaired by more than 200%. So that will be causing polish to not work at all, unlike regular 200% that works with a full effect. That makes sense. That would be a solution and answer. How to fix the problem. So that's really good finding. And testing, I bet that took some testing to check this durability, as you can barely notice the difference. So 4 shots to decrease by 1% versus 150 shots. So that's like 97% reduction in degradation, 97.5%. I'm calculating in my head, so call me out if I'm wrong. But I think that's 97.5% improvement with 50 durability on the third star. Okay, that's interesting. That's really cool info. Thank you a lot. And last one, hello. Since from the new update the Enforcer perk will be small guns only, what another perk, except one gun army, you suggest to use to increase the Peppa Shaker crippling ability, especially for EN06 fight? There is no another perk that will work for the Peppa Shaker. You just need to increase overall damage with the Peppa Shaker, which will, in result, improve its limb damage too. That's the only thing you can do, as there is no another one. You can use Legendary second star, 50% limb damage, but that's it. I kind of hope Enforcer will not go, like, they would not go through with those Enforcer changes, as I prefer it to be with all shotguns rather than all small guns. It makes it more unique, but most likely it will, so we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen in here. In the same time, on Bethesda Discord, where do they plan to announce the list of the food? I have no clue. Where should I be looking for it? Starboard? I don't think so. That's upvoted post. Suggestions, no. Followed 76 chat. No, I doubt it. No one would be able to find it if they post here. That was the tab where they were taking questions from. I know some questions have been removed from here. Then yeah, it is moderated. Ask me anything. Not truly ask me anything. It needs to be approved question to get to it. But they were taking into consideration those upvotes. So for the next time, before Ask Me Anything will happen, we'll try to upvote important questions. Team effort. I'm still trying to figure out if they're gonna stick with this format. As you may tell, it's kind of complicated to find them, as that's happening in here. That's a very weird way to transmit and stream Ask Me Anything. I never encountered something like that. Maybe it's new and they want to align themselves more with Discord. I don't know. I decided to restream it so everyone can find it. I know it's not easy to find it on Discord. First time I didn't manage to. I was thinking they will type answer to those questions. That was my first idea. And I was waiting, checking those questions. When will answer appear? And that's a separate room where they do that. So answers do not appear under those questions. That was confusing for me first time too. What do you think about this format? Do you like it? Oh yeah, Nocturnal build will be very good. Infinite Cloak, absolutely. Infinite Cloak, Nocturnal build, Power Armor, Stealth build. New possibilities with next patch are coming. The best way to get fusion cores, if you need them fast, craft Gatling lasers. Especially the legendary ones are worth it. You have a chance to drop some legendary mod boxes from it. What's the point of asking anything if they skip the hard questions? That's unfortunately standard in gaming industry. They always skip the hardest questions intentionally. That's not new. I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm not. About that one, I'm not surprised. But we can still try to push more questions. They cannot like delete them all. They need to answer some. And questions completely unrelated with next updates have been removed for obvious reasons. That was ask me anything about fishing update and future of Fallout, and not about past of Fallout, or like when will you fix bugs? Like this question, I understand why they do not answer. I guess it's a Bethesda game. There will be bugs, no matter what they do. If someone hope that all bugs will be fixed, that's never. That's not gonna happen. That's not in cards of Fallout or any other Bethesda game. Any questions? Do you have any questions? Let me know. I can answer some of the questions, as I was testing a lot on the public test server for the fishing. If you still have any. No, there was nothing about 4-star fixing and nerfing and stuff. They said one thing about combat rebalancing. When the patch will release, they said with the patch notes, they will tell us where are we in the progress of rebalancing the combat of Fallout 76. They will disclose where we are, where the progress is, and therefore how much is left of the rebalancing to go through. So they will release it with the patch notes. That's what they said. So they said kind of something about related to 4-star balancing. They released the list of the food on Discord, so that was waiting for. Oh, announcements. Okay, so we are checking that now. So that's what we are waiting for. I mean, I was. I don't know if you too, but I was. Here's the list of food that can be put into the can. Great, for the cannery. Milo queen steak, Milo possum. Oh, awesome possum bacon. Red scorpion, poached angler useful. Stingwing stew useful. Tasty squirrel stew. Only carnivore food? Hey, where is herbivore? Mega sloth mushroom soup, but that's kind of half herbivore. You still need to get a mega sloth. Oh, there is corn soup here? But there is no brain bombs? There is no brain bombs? There is no cranberry food? No experience food for herbivores? There is experience food for carnivores, but still no scourge beast food. Where is the scourge beast brain? There is no scourge beast brain. There is no food for crit damage that I need. Is that? Are you kidding me? Like, they took a spot for the gourd soup and corn soup that you can craft simply by taking corn or gourd, and didn't put the important foods. There is vegetable medley soup that no one uses that can be put in. Who gave them the list? Oh, wow. Who gave them this list? Are you serious? That's full list. Okay, I'm not impressed. I'm not gonna be excited about it because I am not. That's not something I was expecting. I don't need headphones. It is no one talking anymore. Wow. Disappointing list. I will tell you, that's a disappointing list. You can screenshot that if you need, or just directly copy from Discord. Bethesda Discord announcements for Fallout 76, that's where it is. Yeah, no Black Eye Sufin, that's the latest one, that's useful one, the new one. There's a lot of good food missing. I would say, most of the good food is missing. Okay, what's good from this list that can be kind of used? Like, this is quite common, so I would not say. Poach Angler, I mean, you could, that's agility bonus. Stingwing Stew for perception. Was it perception bonus or strength? I think that's perception bonus. Tasty Squirrel, that's really one good. That's the best experience buff for carnivores. Firecap Tasty Souffle, this is a good buff, so maybe. Glowing Fungus Puree, okay, those two for defensive buffs for herbivores, okay, kind of. That could be useful. 4 or 5 items. 4 or 5 items semi-useful. There we go. That's it. 4 or 5 semi-useful items. One really good. One really good that I would like to have on this list. One. From the most important I would put on the list myself, we have one on official list. I would put there Black Eye Susan. That's the damage buff. I would put there crit damage boosters. Those are important. The best special boosters like +8 to luck and so for carnivores. All the best food for experience, including cranberry relish, as there's supposed to be something for herbivores. How is that missing? Best special boosters, best health boosters, best percentage booster, best boost for everything supposed to be there on this list. Why it's not there, I cannot understand. I don't know. Jesus for you, thank you a lot for donating 10 memberships. And I welcome Larry Tideman, Robert J. Blackman Jr., Anthony C., Rivacast, BCAF712, Two Little Mice, Angel, Epic, Wizards, and Killer Sake. Welcome, and may the shell be with you. Huge thanks to Jesus for you. Yeah, blind soup. I would not personally put a blind soup as it's very easy to craft. I would put the other crit damage boosters that last 1 hour. There are 2 or 3. There are 2 or 3 crit damage boosters that last for 1 hour, have the same effect as blind soup, work with herbivore too. So I would put the more complicated recipes there. rather than 2-ingredient recipe. For example, corn soup. You put 1 corn, 1 water, you craft it. It doesn't need to be put into the can to conserve it. And the news about radio stations, they were talking a little bit about it, and they acknowledged that there need to be some update, but they didn't release any timeline for that. Yeah, I hope they really quickly update this list. As that's, yeah, there's no Deathclaw meat. There's the best special boosters are not there, and that's not good. They know what they have for the food. They should be 1 food for each special. That's the best for herbivore, carnivore, the best herbivore and carnivore food for AP boost, for HP boost, for damage boost, for melee damage boost. It's all missing. Axolotls you can catch anywhere. Axolots are everywhere, just very rare to catch. And nuclear weather, rainy weather increases chances for some rare fish, but I don't know exactly which one are in this classification. The hardest confirmation we got is building updates and overhaul coming soon. Yeah, they did confirm overhaul to the building menus and so on, but they didn't specify what they're doing exactly. They say they're doing a lot about building, revamping it. You can fish in toxic water, yes, but it doesn't increase your chance per se. It's just toxic water. You can fish in any water, with exception of toxic goo, because that's not water. The stash space, no, it will not be bigger. And they sticking with the very high weight of the food in can. They will not reduce it. All right, so that will conclude our TurtleCast with Bethesda Ask Me Anything. I combine it. Hopefully they don't mind me that I was rebroadcasting it. If this TurtleCast will not disappear with internet, then they're fine with that. If anyone will ask me to remove it, then I would. I don't think it should be against any terms and conditions that Bethesda has, so I decided to rebroadcast it. They don't do it themselves on YouTube. And after, like, that's how I missed the last one. After they done with this Ask Me Anything, they do not upload it anywhere. It's just gone. If you don't record it, if you don't screen cap it, it's just gone after Ask Me Anything. So I hope it all works. And that being said, I wish you all now good rest of your day, and I think we'll see each other on Saturday live stream. I will try to be Saturday live stream about the same time as today to meet you again, everyone. And yeah, I'm going back to my little one this week. She's all whole week with me, so we have a couple more days for fun. So take care, everyone. Turtle out. Bye.